When you buy a new game, it's the best feeling in the world. You have all kinds of new stuff to discover, new things to learn. But unfortunately, that novelty doesn't always stick around. Our brains are optimization engines. That is what we thrive on, is optimizing and growing. But there comes a point where you really can't optimize anymore. And then what? In today's video, we're going to take a deeper look into what exactly causes games to become boring, and what some games have done to try to combat this. It's no secret that the way a game feels is incredibly important to whether you want to play it at all in the first place. Take, for example, Forza. It has very simple, easy-to-learn controls that feel pretty good right out of the box. This can, however, be a double-edged sword, because once people actually learn the controls, there's less desire to actually continue improving your driving skills, because the game doesn't really force you to. There's a lot of other stuff to explore in the game that's more important, but it has its flaws too, as we'll discuss later. But let's take a step back and move away from the racing game space specifically. Let's take a look at Wobbly Life. It has very difficult to learn physics, but once you learn them, that's it. You're done. Now just enjoy the grind of the game. Now let's talk about a mistake that I see a bunch of puzzle games make, such as Viewfinder. They make mechanics that are super satisfying to optimize, but instead of building on those core mechanics, they give you more that you have to learn. Look at this. This was so satisfying to record. So what have these game developers done to make sure that physics mastery doesn't kill their game? Forza added everybody's favorite thing, DLC, yay! In all seriousness, they also added tons of stuff to try to do, such as speed zones, speed traps, and much, much more. Wobbly Life tries to engage the player with treasure that can be found, and that goes about this well.
What is this? Why is there dirt down here? Ah! You saw it go down! Ba, 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 ba.
That's perfect for what I needed. That is perfect. It's
A boot.
It's a boot.
I get the boot. I get the boot. It's a boot.
Now let's go back to the problem with Viewfinder. I mentioned that they're always adding new mechanics, but that's not the problem. The problem is that they're just not interesting enough. What you're seeing right now is the only mechanic that I actually find really interesting to mess with. So which games do it right? Okay, hear me out. I already know I'm going to get a lot of flack for using Motorfest in comparison to Horizon. It's a very different game. I think Forza is intended to be more of a competitive racing game, whereas Motorfest is intended to be more of a fun driving game, which it nails. Drifting and sliding in this game is so much fun, and it does not kill all your speed like Forza does. A better example than Wobbly Life is Wobbly Life itself, but the Space update. Because it's now in a completely different environment, they had fun with gravity, with the actual physics of the game, and so there's now tons of different concepts to explore. And so many shenanigans to be had. A lot of people don't realize how big of a difference the environment can make on the overall vibe of a game. Even though the map itself is beautiful, I do have a couple of quibbles about the environment in Forza Horizon 6 specifically. I live in the southeastern US, the mountains of the southeastern US, and when it's not winter, when this footage was unfortunately filmed, it feels like my backyard. It should not feel like that across the globe. And it ain't just me being nitpicky. I've actually spoken with people who live in Japan, and even they say that this game looks more like an American map with Japanese accents. I would also be quoting my Mexican friend more than once if I said that the Forza Horizon 5 map was based off the most boring part of Mexico. Though then again, that's a huge surprise to absolutely nobody. Now going back to Wobbly Life, the map is based off of something that is very familiar to all of us. Planet Earth, I guess. I know that might sound like a ridiculous critique, but let's be honest here. They had all the room they needed to create something completely unique. Now you might be thinking, well, what about Manifold Garden? That's completely unique. Yes, but to the point that it's almost jarring. Even light and gravity don't behave as they're supposed to. But now let's go back to Forza to discuss one glaring issue that I have with the game and the maps in general. Take a look at these 3 maps from the past games. Notice anything? All 3 of them have the mountains in the northwest, the valleys in the middle, and all the variety crammed on the south, east, and west. Like, I understand that it's made for events like the Eliminator or Hide and Seek and stuff like that, but it just leads to the rest of the map feeling wrong and just badly scaled. Even though Tokyo has a great sense of verticality, even it still feels like it's part of a greater whole, like it's been limited or restricted, rather than a city that's been built out by necessity. It feels wrong drawing this comparison again, but here's the Motorfest map. Notice anything? It looks natural. It looks real. It looks like a real map that you could pick up in the grocery store there in Hawaii. And it feels the same way when you're driving. It honestly feels lived in. It feels like it was built by people, not compromised for a multiplayer event that they're going to have to turn off for a bit because somebody found an exploit. When you play a game, you're not just trying to escape reality. You want to feel something. Whether that something is joy, amusement, or even just a sense of accomplishment. Unfortunately, that seems to be the piece to the puzzle that many modern game developers forget. I feel bad using Forza for a comparison again, but when I can't tell if it's a human or AI...
I want to bring special attention to the Day Trooper in the Civic RS. One of my absolute best friends coming all the way from the UK with Jordan Chambers, who you'll meet soon.
I'm sorry, we have a problem. But Viewfinder can't catch a break either. Even though the voice acting and character development in this game are actually really good, unfortunately the puzzles are entirely separated from the plot and just don't feel integrated at all.
He's brilliant. A great way to communicate.
It's interesting, that's a sure.
Does this mean when I practice my guitar, you'll be able to give it a listen?
Let's not push it, alright?
And unfortunately, Wobbly Life suffers from the same thing. Here I'm delivering pizza, and it's just a wobbly twist on a very mundane activity otherwise. And it gets tiring very quick. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing or learning or discovering anything except how bad I am at keeping pizza in the bed of a truck. Once again, I unfortunately have to hand a point for Ubisoft for Motorfest and its voice acting. There's actual banter. I feel like I'm experiencing a conversation, an actual dynamic between people, not just lines being read from a script.
Man, the roads on this island, not exactly a piece of cake. Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting, right? Plus, it's nothing for a driving whiz like you. Nothing at all.
The point of this training is to recreate the conditions you'll experience in the field. Hit the yellow cat targets to score points, but avoid contact with other cars. A clean chase is the best kind of chase.
So, this was the boring academic spam version. The cool one is smash some targets.
No, but we have to go by the book.
Come on, Samantha. Let go. Be bad. Training, guys.
Like, look, I'll be the first to admit that that's not the best script I've ever heard, but at least there's character there. Now back with Wobbly Life. Here we're in the space update, and it shows the difference in how they let their imaginations run absolutely wild. These are genuinely such engaging jobs that even though I've completely 100%ed the space area and even gotten the mansion, I still keep coming back to this. Now what if there was one game that did all of this perfectly? Enter Superliminal. Let's start with the physics. The developers worked very hard to make sure that the resizing mechanic felt as good as possible, and it shows. Take a look. The environment changes drastically from level to level, and even sometimes multiple times within the same level. The puzzles are also completely integrated into the plot, sometimes completely advancing it.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and many years ago, I had a dream. I found myself in a place where I understood that each of us begins as nothing, where everything I perceived was shaped by seeing it exactly the way I wanted to. White space.
But that's not all. There is also a compelling finale at the very end of the game that has impacted the minds of myself and many other people. But I'm not going to show you. You'll have to play it for yourself. I realized something kind of interesting when I was gathering footage from this video. I've always said that I enjoy games that are a balance of 60% familiar and 40% unfamiliar. And I realized as I was making this video that that's exactly what I'm describing. If you focus too much on the familiar stuff, it'll lose novelty quickly. But if you focus too much on the new and unusual stuff, then it can overwhelm. It's all about balance. I originally did not even plan on having this part in this video, but I realized that what I was describing in my own video was exactly the ethos of the channel, 60/40 gaming. Thank you for joining me on this interesting little curiosity that all started with Forza Horizon 6 already losing its novelty before I lost my entire save. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.